Welcome back. The Daily Statesman says NDC urges Mahama to share more cash for voters. Ghana's road network, NPP and the Kufuor added 10% annually, but the NDC and the Mahama adds 0.8% annually. The Punch says Mahama will win on merit, not by splashing money, Chief of Staff. And the Ghanaian Times, NDC, NPP exchange fire over facts on economy. The story that is made some news there, a rape victim arrested. That's the fire service issue carried by the Ghanaian Times. The Daily Guide, I'm not bribing voters, Mahama. GCB board chairman hot. These are stories on the front page of the Daily Guide. The Daily Graphic says, I killed girl 7 and had sex with body. Man 22 confesses. And also on the Daily Graphic, NDC has better economic record than NPP. Fifi Kwete is said to have said that. The BNFT talks about government argues banks into oil and gas funding, and shea butter export reaches 64 million US dollars. The Finder says nearly 10,000 killed in road accidents during election years. We're entering one now. We'll see what will happen. These are some stages, papers here with me. The front pages of these papers have told us. So my guest this morning to my right is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NDC, Nia Adekoka. Good morning. Good morning. And I hope you're doing great. Thank you for your time this Friday morning. And then to my left is the Communications Director of the NPP, Nana Akumia. Good morning too.
Morning.
And I hope you're doing great.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you too. And the team can't wait to start sharing the cake. Right. Let's start with this story on the Daily Guide has the story. The Daily Statesman carries the same story. A video that was said to have seen President Mahama distributing what some said is money to supporters at one of the tours of the Greater Accra region. The Chief of Staff have come out to say that what the president was distributing was not money, and he says the president will win on merit and not by splashing money. The Punch newspaper has it too. The Daily Statesman carries the same story but in a different turn and suggests that the NDC is urging Mahama to share more cash for votes. Those are the stories on these papers. Let's start here. Now, is the president involved in sharing money? The video we saw has seen a lot of commentary. Some have suggested it was doctored. Others have said, well, he was not sharing money. And others are still saying that even if he was sharing money, it was just a few people he saw and gave them the money. Perhaps, are you in a position to tell us really what happened?
Right, let me say good morning to you, my very good friend and brother, Nana, and your esteemed viewers. I was at that function. I was rightly behind the convoy of the president, and I never saw him sharing any money. In that atmosphere, right, if you make an attempt even to share a t-shirt, just to pick up a t-shirt and throw or give to somebody, if you are not careful, your car will be vandalized, right? And if you have seen the tape, right, and the president's vehicle will only stop when people have blocked it. But this was a moving vehicle, and we were on our way to the Agbogboshi Yam Market, and the crowd were just ecstatic and they were just chasing him all over the place. You see, I mean, you could give a lot of interpretations to this, but I think it's petty. We've got to a certain stage in our body politic that we are becoming petty. You know, recently our brothers went to Nima and shared cocoa and kose. Was it bribing? If they felt it was a philanthropic thing to do, what's wrong about that? We saw them sharing cocoa and kose. Is it bribing? Are they bribing the electorate? I mean, it becomes so petty. Presidents and ministers go to visit chiefs, right? In some of our campaign tours, when we meet the chiefs, they are giving schnapps and Because that's the tradition. That when you are going to the house of a chief or you are visiting the chieftaincy, you send all political parties do that. So this idea that the president is bribing people in traffic or on a camp, I mean, it's preposterous. I find this that we are becoming too petty with our body that I mean now, even the air that you breathe, the moment you start breathing air, there's somebody, the president is giving oxygen to somebody. You know, it's becoming unbecoming. I mean, I wasn't trying. Look, if you attempt to give somebody something in traffic or in a convoy, if you are not careful, he'll be removed from the. And I saw the tape. I've seen the tape. I believe that this is not something that we should worry ourselves about. We should be worried about ourselves about the bread and butter issues of this country. How we are going to position Ghana in the next 10, 15 years. This is, for me, a newspaper having time and a whole headline it will not add, subtract, or detract us from the campaign that we are doing at all. It will not detract us from the campaign we are doing. So for me, we should rather be thinking about how we are going to, rather than wasting our time on this frivolous things that I think is neither here nor there.
I'm grateful, Nia de Coca. Nana Kumia, let me come to the suggestion that the president is bribing the electorate. Is that how you see it too?
Well, thank you. And let me wish our audience a good Friday morning. Right. And also your servant and my big brother, Adekoka, who also doubles as the regional chairman for Greater Accra for the NDC. Now, my brother, the question is, the president was sharing something.
Right.
What was he sharing?
Well,
Adekoka said he was behind the president. Let him tell us what the president was sharing.
I never saw him share anything. That's what I'm saying. I never saw him share anything. And that you see the convoy. If you look at the tape.
No, just a question. You didn't see him.
He wasn't sharing nothing.
No problem.
Yes.
Right. Well, the chief of staff. What did he say the president was sharing?
Well, he said the president does not carry money on him, and so he couldn't have been sharing money.
But he was sharing something.
No.
Well, he didn't say that. He said the president doesn't carry money.
What's
on
the
him.
story? The chief of staff story.
This is the Punch newspaper says that. Said the chief of staff. A quick read of that. The story is on page 8. The Punch paper says. Chief of Staff has said a video showing President Mahama supposedly giving that money on one of his campaign tours in Accra may have been doctored.
The video may have been doctored?
Yes, according to the Chief of Staff. And that the president does not carry money along with him.
But you see, Brad, you have seen the video.
Yes, I've seen the president in the car, in the crowd.
Did you see him sharing something on that?
Well, I saw the president reach out to people, and there is some document between the president's hand and those he's greeting, but I'm unable to tell if indeed he's sharing something.
Yeah, but you saw him sharing something.
Well, I didn't see it. I saw the president stretching out his hand to the outstretched hands of supporters. As to whether he was sharing something, I'm unable.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Let me do my point.
On our campaign trail, right? On our campaign trail, we have T-shirts in our car. In this particular moment, the president was not even holding a T-shirt. The tape.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Now, you didn't see the president share anything.
Exactly.
We, those who have seen the video, we saw him share something. So what is at dispute is what he was sharing. Not the fact that he was. Well, we all saw him sharing something, calling some people from the crowd and giving them something. We all saw it. You said you were behind him, but I didn't see it. Now, the issue Ghanaians are faced with, was he sharing money? Or what was he sharing? Because he reached out to at least 3-4 people. In fact, there's one in the video, you hear one woman say, hey, Obabe Chiska. You heard some woman in the video. If you play the video now, you hear it.
Okay, Obabe Chiska.
So, he was sharing something. Nobody has been able to tell us what he was sharing, but he was sharing something. Okay. You see, beyond this video, right, we are confronted with a situation where we have seen a report from Transparency International, their local chapter called the Ghana Integrity Initiative.
Right.
condemned the president for vote buying and abuse of incumbency. This is an anti-corruption agency. This is not the CPP. This is not the NPP. This is not TV3. This is Transparency International. They have issued a statement condemning the president for engaging in vote buying and in abuse of incumbency. So you are confronted with that situation where an NGO, which is clearly non-partisan, has given a judgment against the president on vote buying and abuse of incumbency. You know? So that's it. Recently, we had one political leader, Madame Donko, tell us that the president has given to her 2 4-wheel drives and a house. You heard it. You heard it.
Yes, that one.
Recently, we also had no less a personality than the moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. And the Presbyterian Church of Ghana is not Jesus of Dansoman. This is the Presbyterian. This is the moderator. He came out and said that he was offered $100,000, a V8 4-wheel drive, and a luxury house to buy him, for him to keep silence. Now, I'm not the one who said the moderator of the Presbyterian Church.
But what he failed to do is to tell us who offered those gifts.
But he made a statement,
right?
Isn't it? Yeah, he made a statement. Nobody has made an investigation, so his statement is still there. Donko made a statement that
mentioned the person who gave her the car
and said the president gave her 2 cars and a house. It's not me. So beyond this video, Ghanaians can see a pattern of monies being doled out, taxpayers' monies, the monies belonging to Ghanaians being doled out, especially at this election time. So much to the extent that Transparency International issues a statement condemning the president for that. You see? So there's a clear pattern. It's not NPP, it's not CPP, it's not TV3, it's not Adekoka. This is Transparency International. Right. This is Donko. This is Reverend Mate. So this is the situation that Ghanaians are confronted with. You see? So when you see a video and the president clearly is giving something to some people, and as we speak, you hear when it's Adekoka say, I didn't see it. When it's the chief of staff, say, I saw it, but it wasn't money. But nobody.
No, he didn't say he saw it. He said he hadn't seen the tape. And that the president cannot does not keep money on him, and that it can be doctored. And let me react to something that you are saying.
But
on Reverend Mate,
you saw the tape.
On Reverend
yes,
Mate,
I've seen it.
Does it look like a doctored tape?
Well, I cannot tell. I don't have the kind of eye to be able to detect this. I think these are done by.
You see, to be fair, I mean, I wouldn't be able to say, as I sit here,
right,
that he was sharing money or not, but he was sharing something.
Exactly.
And you heard somebody in the video remark that, hey, he's coming to give us money.
Okay.
If you play it now, you hear somebody in the
not
crowd
that he's
sitting
giving
there.
money. He's coming to give.
Yeah, he's coming to give it because and you could, if you play it now, everybody will hear that voice. A woman who was standing in the crowd,
right,
got the impression that money was coming to be shared.
Okay, so she got the impression, not that the money was being shared.
Yes,
okay.
And she said so.
On the matter of Ecuador,
Donko, she
came out and denied and withdrew the statement that she made that the president. She came, the same person who said, she said she was joking. She came and gave a rebuttal on that issue. On the matter of Reverend Mate, his PRO said he personally went with him to the house of an opposition party leader. And then they gave them the money, and then he was given half of it, which he refused. Reverend Mate had never come out to deny or rebut what the Dr. Frimpong said.
He said that the PRO wasn't in office at that time, so the date that he claimed he went to the opposition leader's house with him couldn't have been
It was
true.
some other, at the other peer. I'm talking about Professor Mate himself.
Right.
Whom this guy said, I went with you. And he challenged him to come and deny whether it is true or false. And here, as we sit here today, Professor Mate had not come to deny. So whoever promised the 100,000 V8, the PRO at that time, Dr. Frimbo, he's a doctor, for Christ's sake. He's a learned man, right? He said, I went with him. And it was, so this assumption here is that it was not an opposition party member. Which opposition party member we cannot put and then we have even challenged him to come and mention the name of who. So this is and Transparency International has not said that the president is bribing the electorate. No. As for incumbency, when they were in power, their current flag bearer used to drive the streets of Accra with a motorcade and a police escort, and all when he was doing his campaign. He was using state facilities to run his campaign. And at that time, I remember very well, this same argument that my brother here is raising, was raised. And they said, well, that is neither here nor there. Right? So as for incumbency, we all say that when is the president a president and when is he a leader of the party? That is for us to determine that. But as far as we are concerned, we are not using incumbency here. Right? We are not taking incumbency advantage. And like I said, this was Greater Accra Regional Tour, and happened to be on that tour. The president, under no circumstances, shed any money to anybody. And I'm telling you that with the kind of reaction of people, if you are sharing T-shirts, if you are not careful, and above all, the hypocrisy. Here we are, our brothers go about sharing cocoa and kose. And that is in a full glare of everybody. And they claim that the Transparency International is not saying anything about it. I thought my brother will allude the fact that, hey, as for the cocoa and kose, that one too, Transparency International should make a statement about that. You see, we should stop this. We should stop doing this to ourselves. Their flag bearer, when he goes out to see chiefs, when he went to Greater Accra House of Chiefs, he took schnapps there. This is only 2 days ago, last week. He took schnapps to the Greater House of Chiefs. He didn't just walk to the Greater Accra House of Chiefs and just sat down and asked them that he's come to campaign Greater Accra and that he came with nothing. We have evidence, we have got tape of the conversation, everything that he did there, giving schnapps and money to the chiefs to open the doors of Greater Accra for him to enter. That one to Transparency International, where are you?
So you're suggesting that politicians on your campaigning sometimes are compelled to give out gifts. That's all you're saying.
Well, you see, there are certain traditional things that all parties do. If you bus your people to campaign grounds, are you bribing them? Are you bribing the people that you bus your campaign grounds, and which they did in Awushi recently, that they had to bus people from all Accra to go to Awushi? So, my brother, let us not be
a quick come here. So, perhaps, are they okay suggesting that, these are things that politicians do when they visit, when on campaign tours?
You know, I make some of the lovely cakes in Accra. And any time I come here,
yes,
I give you and your cameraman.
And he gives me too.
And I give Adekoka.
yes.
You know, so by Adekoka's argument, Transparency International should condemn me.
Yes.
So Bride, you immediately see that Adekoka has lost his way on this matter. He's lost his way. Because otherwise, Transparency will say, nah, you have given cakes to it. You see, the issue is a serious issue. Transparency International, not some party activists. They have issued an official statement that the president was engaging in bribery of the electorate.
With what?
And
with what, Nana?
Engaging in abuse of incumbency. Right? You saw the statement.
Yes, I see the statement.
Yes. So,
please. It talks about incumbency.
Yeah, he says that bribery of the electorate.
No,
you have the statement. Please let your producers pull it. You see, so immediately there's an issue. Okay? This group, Transparency International, with a worldwide reputation, will not be making statements for the fun of it. They made a clear statement 4 weeks ago that The president was engaged in bribery of the electorate and was engaged in abuse of it. That is what the people said. It's not me.
Not engaged in bribing of the electorate.
Right.
Please.
Tell Adeko.
Okay.
It is not me. Hold on. It is not me.
I've never seen that
It is
statement.
Transparency International. It's not
I
now that you come and beat me here. It is Transparency International.
I haven't seen that
now,
statement.
right. But Bright, you have seen that statement. Let your producers pull it out. Let's
statement.
Now listen. This business about Ikuadonko says. Did she say it or not?
She said it and came back and said
yeah.
she was.
So why we should treat her as a joker?
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it.
Look.
So when you say something and you retract it,
can I finish?
Shouldn't I believe you?
Yeah, but can I finish?
I'm asking you a question.
No, can I finish?
Okay. You are
now, Brad, listen. The woman said, you see, these people, when they say the truth and they realize that there are repercussions, then they come and tell. This is not the first time. You remember the deputy minister who told civil servants that they should lie in favor of the government? You remember? When the video came out, he came out and said he was joking. So you can see a pattern with these people of saying the truth and coming to lie about the truth they have said. I mean, look at this woman, Ikuadonko. She's not a child. The leader of a political party. There she was when she was asked the name of the car. She couldn't even remember.
Exactly. So
she had to be prompted by the reporter. Now, can you imagine this woman would take $80,000 and go to the shop to buy a car and she can't remember the name of the car? I mean, why are these people treating us like children in this country? Now, Brad, listen. This moderator, the Presbyterian Church, I know the church, or I saw a statement issued by the church itself against the
so that's why you believe
the public the PRO.
You don't believe in Ikuadonko, but you believe this one.
No, please. You see, I'm talking to facts that have happened, and he's because he can't deal with the facts. He's attacking me. It is not. Tell him. It is not me. It is not me who saying it.
You believe that one, but you don't believe in Ikuadonko.
Now,
what kind of argument is this?
Ikuadonko made two statements. I don't know which one to believe.
I see.
I don't know which one to believe.
So how would they also want to believe what the Presbyterian Church is saying?
If I'm to interrogate Ikuadonko's second statement, that she said she bought the car herself, but she couldn't even remember the name of the car.
It can be
now I'm saying to you, you think a woman like that woman of a caliber would take $80,000 and go to a shop to buy a car, and she can't remember the name of the car?
Forget.
Well. You know, when you align yourself with the NDC, that's what happens to you. Now let's move on. My bottom line is that Adeko said some girls, NPP supporters were sharing cocoa. I mean, it's okay.
I think loyal ladies of men.
Fine. Let's say they were sharing cocoa and Kose at Nima. Fine. No. Let's say it's bribery.
I didn't call it bribery. No.
As we speak today, Transparency International, the Ghana Integrity Initiative, they have issued a statement condemning President Mahama for engaging in bribery of the electorate and abuse of incumbency. That's the bottom line.
I'm grateful.
That is neither here.
I'm grateful. Mr. Adekoka said it's not true. Let's move to the next one. The Ghanaian Times has this story. NDC NPP exchange fire over fact on economy. The Daily Graphic says NDC has better economic record than the NPP. That's a story attributed to Fifi Kwete. The story on page 20 says that the National Democratic Congress has reiterated that the NDC has a great track record of using foreign loans to invest in solid projects which have started bringing high returns to the country. At the maiden Setting the Record Straight series for the election year at the party's headquarters in Accra, the Minister of Transport, Fifi Kwete, refuted claims by government critics that loans were debts being stockpiled for the future generations to pay. Now, he said, for us in the NDC, foreign loans are meant for investments, he stressed. He said some of the investments made with foreign loans were the gas processing infrastructure, the Nkrumah interchange, the water expansion, the Tamale Airport, University of Ghana 610-bed hospital, and the Tema Port expansion project. Now, let me start with you. This story of who has a better track record, the NDC says its record points to a better one than the NPP, and it says, particularly with the fact that the loans that it contracted, foreign loans, have been used for investments that are likely to yield results.
Well, thank you. See, the first point that you must notice is that the NDC people, they don't like telling the truth. I've given you one instance where a deputy minister was able to tell Ghanaians that they should go and lie, that if the government goes to donate a sheep, they should be able to report that the government has donated a cow. That if something was black, they should be able to go and tell Ghanaians that the thing was white. Now, beyond that, they had a full minister of state sitting on national radio to tell Ghanaians that some of his colleagues are too transparent. And that level of openness and transparency creates problem for the communications department of the party and the government. This is what they've said on national radio and on national television. So you can imagine what else they do outside. It's clear. Until last year or so, this is the only party and government in Africa which had a propaganda secretary. This was the only party in Ghana and Africa that had a propaganda secretary. You see? You were here in 2009 when the NDC came into office and the nominees went to parliament for the vetting. I'm sure you have the videos. Take time and play them. In fact, I'll come and collect them and make sure it is played for Ghanaians to see. These people went before the vetting committee of parliament, and when they were confronted with statements they had made, they all said, "We are sorry." Fifi Kwete was one of them. He said President Kufuor had taken Ghana's gold reserves to some offshore accounts. When they asked him in parliament, he said, "Oh, it was a mistake he made, that it was something he saw on social media." This is the record of the people that we are dealing with. Look, right. These people, on this economy that they are talking about, this same economy that they are talking about, when they came into office in 2009, in June 26th, they wrote a memorandum of understanding to the IMF and the World Bank. It was titled Memorandum of Economic and Financial Policies, 2009 and 2012. And I'd like you to ask your producers to Google it and produce that document for you. Because in that document, they talked about the Ghanaian economy they had inherited. And on the basis of what they told the IMF and the World Bank, and when the World Bank came to check, the World Bank granted them $1 billion in concessional loans. You see? Now, quote one of what they said about the Ghanaian economy. In this memorandum they wrote to the World Bank, June 26, 2009, signed by Dufour, the finance minister, and the Bank of Ghana. Another time, Fifi Kwete was the deputy minister for finance. Now, this is what they wrote in paragraph 3. It said, real GDP growth increased steadily from 3.7% in 2000 to 7.3% in 2008. Mind you, they were writing this before the rebasing. This growth was fostered by significant debt relief, which provided the country with fiscal space to embark on critical infrastructure investments, particularly in the energy and road sectors, as well as targeted social spending, all under the Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy. The combination of higher output growth, declining inflation, and improved social spending under the GPRS contributed significantly to lower poverty levels in the country. the national incidence of poverty declined from 39.5% in 1999 to 28.5% in 2005. At this rate, Ghana is poised to achieve the Millennium Development Goal of having extreme poverty ahead of 2015. Now, this is what they wrote to the IMF and the World Bank in 2009. Now, they talk about the state of healthcare, the state of education in Ghana at that time, in all in the report. They talk about gender equity and the achievement that had been made, that they came to meet. But I'll just focus on what they say about the economy. Now, on paragraph 7, they say, the improved macroeconomic environment during the period paved the way for Ghana to make a debut on the international capital markets in October 2007, raising $750 million as additional capital targeted at infrastructure development for growth, especially in the key area of energy. So here they are telling the World Bank that the macroeconomy had so improved that Ghana, for the first time, was able to go to the capital markets, the Eurobond, and borrow for the first time because of the improved macroeconomic environment. This is the NDC speaking to the IMF. And then let me finish with what they talked about, the use of the 750 million Eurobond. There they go. Because I heard Fifi Kwete say that he didn't know how the money was invested. This is how they said the 750 million was used. Said non-concessional borrowing in 2007 was mostly used to raise energy capacity, and that of 2008 is now being assessed. Out of the 750 million borrowed in 2007 in the form of Eurobond, and then here they proceed to give the breakdown. 595 million had been disbursed by January 2009. So then out of the 750, 595 had been disbursed. So there was still about 170 that had not been disbursed, and they inherited. Then they go on, say, the proceeds were allocated primarily to support public investments in the energy sector, according to the following distribution: 286 million for investments by the VRA, 134 million for investment by Electricity Company of Ghana, 54 million for investment in the Bui Dam, and 31 million for the government's equity investment in the West Africa gas pipeline. It is that investment that allowed us to get gas from Nigeria. And these people would not even pay. And as we speak, we owe them over almost 200 million. And they cut the gas, and we're in doomsday. Now, then they go on. And 90 million for public investment in road infrastructure. You see? Now, this is what they wrote.
That's 2009.
2009. And based on this, when the World Bank came in and said they were given a concessional grant loan of $1 billion. So these people, they tell the truth to the IMF and the World Bank. And they tell a different story to you, the taxpayer. Huh? Look at what I said. Look, let me tell you something. Inflation. They say that the economy is good, and so it's we NPP who are lying. We are doing propaganda. I brought you a sample of newspaper. These are not political players. Look, these are not political players. I'll tell you, look, this is a paper. This is what Business Day. Economy dying amid high interest rates. This is May 2016. This is not CPP. This is not NDC. This is not Adekoka. Look at them. BNFT. Exports, bleak future for exports in Ghana. This is BNFT. May 2016. This is graphic. AGI Industries lament the unstable economy. This is August 2000. Then you have center spread. Workers protest worsening economic situation. Okay. This is Daily Graphic. July. The workers protest worsening economic situation. This is July 2015. Daily Graphic. You have TUC. Killer taxes must go. The workers people. The workers, you have Business Finder.
And this is the last one.
Yes. But I could go on, but you don't have time.
Yes.
Because you see, we need to tell the truth. If I say, they'll say, look at Nakumi, he's doing propaganda. This is not NPP. This is industry. This is workers' union. This is business. This is the banks. Here they go. Banks reel under economic mess. Okay? Corruption worsens cost for new businesses. Let me give you some good stats that you can
Wrap up
use.
for me.
Look, inflation as we speak today in this country, and Adekoka and John Mahama, 16.7%.
Why did you leave it? You left it
Look,
at what rate?
when you go to Cote d'Ivoire, which is next door,
Boy.
inflation in Cote d'Ivoire today is about 1%.
Oh. 1%.
Burkina Faso, inflation is less than 5%.
And I-
Togo, next door, inflation is 5%. Liberia, which came out of Ebola and war, inflation is 7%. So look, Togo, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, they all have inflation 1%, 7%, 5%. Ghana, we God don't like us or something. Look, interest rate as we speak in Cote d'Ivoire, interest rate is 3.5%. Let your producers check these things and tell Adekoka. Cote d'Ivoire, 3. Ghana, interest rates today is 33%. And you know it. Look, growth rate, as we speak today under John Mahama and Adekoka, the performance today is 28% the performance in 2011. And the performance today is about 50% the performance of 2008 when we didn't have oil. As we speak today, credit from the banks, 79% goes to the government. That is why TV3 you can't go and borrow. Because 79% of all bank credit today is going to the government. So are you surprised that private business is collapsing and employment is not going on? Because the government is taking 79.2% of credit from the banks. In 2008, it was 48%. That is why in 2008 and 2007, when you sit in your office, the bank girls will come to you begging you to come and take a loan. Because the government, they had 52% of their deposits were sitting down. As we sit today, only 20%. So they will not lend to you. They won't lend to TV3. They won't lend to you. How have you finished? Why are you afraid of the truth?
Finally.
As we speak today, Adekoka, pensions are in arrears. NHIS is in arrears. Capitation, the one to buy chalk, is in arrears. The BDCs, every day they are fighting the government they are in arrears. Road contractors, teachers are, entitlements are in arrears. SNIT contributions are in arrears. Even the mental hospital. They recently had to threaten they were going to go on strike. Okay. As we speak, government arrears alone in the economy is over 13 billion Ghana cedis. How can the economy move? Look at this. This is my last one. Now, this is my last one. Look, since John Mahama came into the presidency, the size of the Ghanaian economy has shrunk. In 2011,
it's a figure they always
in 2011, but these figures are there. Go to the Bank of Ghana reports. Go to the World Bank reports. Go to the IMF country reports. They are there. Look, in 2013, the size of the economy was 45 billion. 2011. 2013, at the start of John Mahama. Today, it is 40 billion in dollars.
I see. All right. Okay. Nana, I'm grateful. Me, come in. So, from the indicators he's given, then Fifi Kwete's statement that NDC has a better economic record isn't really
very interesting. Very, very interesting. You know, as if this country is on its knees. The kind of picture he has painted, as if this country is on its knees. But this country is very resilient. The economy is very resilient. Foreign direct investment in this country is very high. The economy has ballooned. When they left office, they left an economy of 40 billion. It's now almost 133 billion. Expanded leaps and bounds.
Oh, you mean cities?
Yes.
Are you talking cities?
133 billion.
Okay. And what is the exchange rate?
You see, when you go, when the speaker kept quiet too. So I'm not talking about exchange rate.
Now asking.
I'm talking about. We are in Ghana. We
use cities.
Exactly. So let's talk about cities.
Why are you laughing?
Let's talk about cities.
All right.
You understand now?
Then let's go.
Now, what we are talking about is 2008, when they left office. what did they leave behind? Zilt. This is an economy, during their time, they had HIPIC relief. So they were not paying the loans that were outstanding. What did they do with the HIPIC money? They went about building HIPIC toilets. And you know where they situated these toilets? The moment you enter whatever locality, the first thing that you see is a 6-seater HIPIC toilet. And then a 6-classroom block HIPIC school. This is what we are talking about. You just oppose that to this period of time. Now, they had so much money, they couldn't build a regional hospital. They couldn't build a new university. They couldn't build schools. They promised that they were going to turn certain schools into model schools at 50. They were only able to do 19 out of that. I can go on and on and on and on and on. They ended up selling Ghana Telecom. Before they departed, they ended up selling a private state institution, Ghana Telecom. And they used them to pay salaries. What he's talking about that they took $750,000 euro bond. They used them to buy meters. The money that they allocated to electric corporation, President Kufuor's son was given part of that money to go and buy meters. What are they talking about? That is what we are talking about. The figure that you are sharing about, nobody is saying that the economy hasn't faced challenges. Even almighty US today, they are going at 1%. Almighty China, after a long period of growth, from 10% are now at about 4, 5, 6%. When you look at the total of African growth rates, it hovers about around 4%, 5% over the last decade. Because the world economy has slumped. And we don't live in an isolation. It's a global economy. You understand? So what we are talking about is that currently, under all the external circumstances that we have, we've been able to put up infrastructure. First of all, social infrastructure, which we need drastically to push this country forward. That is why you go back to our period of independence. What did Kwame Nkrumah do? We needed certain social infrastructure to be a nation state called Ghana. That is why Akosombo Dam was built. At that time, population was 6 million. And even people argued that we didn't need that dam because we were not ready for that. The same people who are talking today, their fathers, their forefathers. The motorway, the Tamahabo, all those projects were said to be phantom projects which will not enjoy the benefit of our country. Today, we depend on some of those projects. And so the argument that we are talking about is that we have been able to put up a gas processing plant. Now we are no more going to rely on Nigeria gas anymore for them to bluff us so that we owe them. We now have our own gas processing plant. We've discovered other gas enclaves that are now going to make us fuel efficient and also to be net exporters of power within the shortest possible. That is development. You go and borrow Euro bond and you go and make a pipe to Nigeria, and then at any given moment of time, they cut it off. What kind of investment is that? And you call that an investment? You go and invest in somebody's country, you go and borrow money, and then you go and invest in somebody's country. Then you come and tell me that that's a good investment? Why you could have used that money to develop your gas infrastructure here? We didn't do that. We got the money and we developed a gas processing plant to the benefit of Ghanaians. That is the difference we are talking about. Why somebody will put 10% in his pocket? You understand? Look at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. Do you know that what we have done, some few months or you can spend about 2 hours just from Harizakor's bus stop, right, to the other side of to the state transport. You spend about 2-3 hours there. Now within 5-10 minutes, you are out. Do you know how much that investment is saving the taxpayer and all those who are running services around that enclave? You ended up putting up a road called the Gang of Four without making adequate resources for that job to be completed. We had come, you said we went to the local market to borrow to do that road. And you know the benefit you are getting from that. You understand? So you can call all the figures that you have mentioned, but you are on the ground. When you look at the practicality of the ground, you were never able to build one single bedroom for the 8 years that you were in power. With all the money that you bought, with all the economic things that you were touting about, you were not able to build one bedroom flat. The one that you started to build, you end up sharing among yourselves, even when it was not completed. Today, Boteman, we have come to complete it. You were not able to build one bedroom.
So this infrastructure, is it the beginning? Because the complaint is that things are hard. There's no money in people's pockets.
You see, when I hear this thing, you see, so those who are working on the gas processing plant, those who are working in crime recruitment entertainment, those who are building a rich hospital, those who are working on the Tamaport expansion and Takwadi expansion, the schools that are built are people not working there? Are people not working? Are these robots that are working there?
Perhaps you're working, but
and the money so that the
utility bills are so high that
I'll tell you something. When we are having done so, all of us said that I'd rather have at least 7/7, 24/7, and pay the actual price for it. We want power. We want investment. We have to pay for the price in every country. You don't say that you want power and then somebody must pay for the power for you to get it free. If you look at the cost of those who are running generators, everyone are having done so, compare that to the amount of money that they pay for their power, which is better. You see, we should be real in this country.
Right.
That without us coming together and thinking aloud, rather than trying to, I have punched holes into their 8 years of office. They should tell me, like I said, in the housing, in the health sector, they should tell me what regional hospital did they put up. You go to Tamale, you go to Wa, you go to Kumasi, you come to Accra, all over the major regions. Go to Dodua, district hospitals. All these are dotted all over the place. And what are they talking about?
Okay.
Right.
I ran out of time, Nana.
I'll just conclude.
Briefly.
Because he talked about hospitals, because we ran out of time.
Regional hospitals.
Let me just
tell me. Which regional? Mention one.
I'm coming to tell you.
Mention one here. I'm listening.
Right.
Mention one. One housing project.
In 2007.
Was it a Tooting Broadway or Wandsworth Council?
The NPP got a loan of $650 million. It's called the Eurojet project. They are all. Now, the military hospital in Kumasi is being built out of that money. The regional hospital in Wa and Kumasi.
You got the money.
No,
don't start.
This is not fighting.
Don't go there.
You can easily check.
Don't go there.
Now,
the
districts.
We got the money.
But can I finish?
You got the money and you came to build it, but you claim that you built it. So
but can I finish?
Don't go there, Nana.
No, I haven't said you haven't built. I'm saying that you said we didn't build it.
Mention one. What did you build?
District hospitals for that Eurojet.
Yes, which one did you build?
Tepa, Konongo, Praso. Look, let me tell you.
They are not being built. Tepa, Konongo, they are not being built.
Listen.
You didn't build it.
The biggest intervention in the health sector in this country in the last 50 years.
It's what? What did you do?
It's been the health insurance.
Nana.
These people tell you they build
what
hospitals.
hospital did you build?
These people tell you they build hospitals.
All right.
Let me tell you this.
Abwakwa State Hospital.
But when you shout, you let.
No, I'm asking a question.
You're frightening the camera.
I said, give me one example.
Right.
One example.
In 2014, 10,000 Ghanaians were infected with cholera. 250 of them died.
Right.
And they'll tell you they built hospitals.
Right, but don't go there. I said, Nana Akumiama,
they tell you they built
my
hospitals.
brother. I said mention one hospital.
Okay.
One
All right.
hospital. Nana.
I
One.
have mentioned plenty.
The debate will continue.
One regional hospital.
Niade Koka is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NDC. Nana Kwamia is the Communications Director of the NPP. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your time this Friday morning.
You know cholera. 200 of
All right. And I wish our viewers a good Friday. And then we'll go.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes. Let's wish our viewers a good Friday.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to take my cake away because the coca will go and transfer it to the
That you
bribe
bribe.
you.
I
But it's a good day.
Good weekend to your viewers.
All right.
And we'll meet again next week.
Exactly.
It has
We're
been a
grateful for your time
lovely-
this
a
morning.
lovely day.
Hopefully, we won't die from cholera.
Hopefully we'll
All
go
right.
more hospital.